Yeah, the minimum wage in New Zealand has been raised to $20 an hour. Give it up for New Zealand being in the 21st century. All right, New Zealand gets it. They also raised taxes on nations wealthiest by a whopping 39%. Just move on. Back in December 2020, the New Zealand Ministry of Business Innovation and Employment announced that beginning on April 1st, 2021, the new minimum wage would be instated. Woo! Oh, mama. Oh. I feel like Paul Pierce, about to lose my career. Paul, what you doing, man? Put the phone down, Johnson. Back to this. The training and starting out minimum wages will also both increase to $16 per hour. So they do something different in New Zealand than we do in America, and that is make fucking sense. Yeah, they're making sense. So, you know how people say, you can't raise the minimum wage because if you raise the minimum wage, all these other dumb kids, these little teenagers that want to get their first jobs, they can't get $20 an hour. And now we don't hire them. We're going to hire two. Now we're going to hire one. You know, we were going to cut prices, but now, because you want this minimum wage increase, guess we'll have to go up like we do every year, even when there isn't an increase. People pretend to be genuine on this issue. But I love what New Zealand's doing here because New Zealand gets it, man. They understand nuance. All right? So if you're new to the job market, new in the position, in training, you're on a different scale. It's still more than twice our scale. Isn't that a bitch? In New Zealand, if you're a kid, never worked outside of doing chores, dumping the trash, cutting the lawn, and you go into an establishment to start a training, you're training to do a real job. You can make more than a grown-ass American with 3 kids who's been in the job for a decade. Give it up for America. Make America great. Build back better. Give it up for us. Man, we are so cool, man. We got all types of ice creams and stuff. And you can watch Netflix and Hulu and stuff. And go on YouTube. And some places you can even smoke weed without going to jail. But we don't give a damn if you live indoors. None of that, Johnson. For employers who work 40 hours a week, the minimum wage will go up to $20 per hour. But hourly wages may vary depending on the employer. In 2019, New Zealand was already one of the top 5 countries that offered a higher than normal minimum wage with an average of $22 per hour. Look, they had to raise the floor because some people were cheap. Some companies were paying, $17. Cheap bastards paying $17 an hour. $15, starvation wages. So they did, so now they decided, okay, we got to raise the floor, raise the roof with a floor, and by doing so, you get closer to the roof. Luxembourg topped the 2019 list with an average of $26 per hour. Give it up for Luxembourg. Luxembourg, man, they be killing it. Milk is chilling. Biz is chilling. What more can I say? Top billing. In addition to the increased minimum wage, New Zealand also raised taxes by 39% on its nation's top earners. Oh, yeah. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. Never, ever, ever. Jack, what happened? In addition to increasing minimum wage, New Zealand also raised taxes by 39% on the nation's wealthiest top earners, So, their equivalent of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, people like that. I could name other people, but I don't want to help them in the algorithm. Many U.S. lawmakers have been pushing for a $15 minimum wage. Really, Johnson? This is the idea of pushing. Some lawmakers haven't been pushing at all. They've just been looking at the problem going, I can move it with my mind. Raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour would impact nearly 32 million workers, according to an analysis by the Economic Policy Institute. The majority, or 59% of those who would benefit, are women. Give it up for women. America hates women. Yeah, that's why they don't give a damn about raising it. That's what's going to fundamentally change, Jack. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. Come on, bucko. Come on, nothing's going to change. I'm going to get in there. We're going to make America better. It's nothing ever, never, ever, nothing ever we can't do. When I get in there and do nothing. It's got to get in there. And, when we set our minds on it, there's no way we can do it. Just got to set our minds on it and then not do it. Got to veto it. Here goes the humdinger, Johnson. The majority of women that would feel the increase are women of color. Black women. How are you the group with the biggest amount or the most amount of education and school debt and still would benefit the most from the minimum wage increase? Racial, man. Racial. The federal minimum wage, slow down, the federal minimum wage has not increased in more than a decade. I think it was 2009 or something. Although a growing number of states have voted to adopt their own wage increases. Raising the minimum wage from $7.25 to $15 an hour by 2025 will cost the economy about 1.4 million jobs. Will lift 900,000 Americans out of poverty. We need to pass some minimum wage. Well, look, let me say something about that. Bullshit. You'd be surprised what major corporations could do. I say what we need to do is provide subsidies for small businesses who will be going to the new standard. It doesn't have to, Johnson. You could be like New Zealand and do it in a way in which you have nuance. Building back checks and stopgaps measures that do not overly impact smaller businesses who just can't afford it. You give tax breaks to big corporations, why not to small businesses? Gee, I never thought of that. Interesting, Tim Black. Interesting. You should run for office. We need to pass the $15 minimum wage by the end of the year, and it has to be part of must-pass legislation, said Representative Ro Khanna. My brother. That's how I talk to people on the phone. My brother. They be like, man, Tim Black, man, just like being on the show, Johnson. My brother. I don't say that to the woman. I say, my sister. Connor organized a press call Friday with many progressive Democratic leaders, or lawmakers and union leaders, activists who demanded that the $15 minimum wage despite setbacks earlier this year. Some people are pushing for the minimum wage increase. APAB, all politicians are bastards. The wage increase passed the House in February as part of the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief. The package, but the minimum package provision, was stripped out in the Senate. Made Manchin fall down 3 flights of stairs. What do you guys think about the minimum wage? Of course you want it to be raised. What to do about the Senate? I got the Tim Black Wolfpack in the comments section. Donna M16, Anthony Lamont, Chrissy B. Talking, Keith Weston, Garrett Brown. Garrett says $25 an hour makes sense. Yeah. Mickey H. Mickey H says the U.S. is a laughing stock overseas.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't be fooled by corporate media talking heads misleading the people. Get your news and information from an entity that keeps it real. Tim Black. Tim Black is the host of The Tim Black Show. Independent news that leaves you informed, inspired, and sometimes entertained, but always in the know. Go to timblacktv.com and sign up today. The Tim Black Show is news for people who can't stand the news. See you there.